Live from the Dr. Jerry Henderson Radio Complex, it's time for Card Guys. And now, here's your host, Anthony Schulte.
Good morning or good afternoon, whenever you may be listening to this program. Thank you, Michael, for the intro as always, and welcome to Card Guys, Detroit Sports Talk, Season 2, Episode 17. Coming up today, the Wings finally won. We discuss a wild ending at LCA. In the midst of a historically terrible season, what does the future of the Pistons look like? We discuss. Also, we go over more brackets in the first four matchups as we inch closer and closer to the big dance. I'm Anthony Schulte. Joining me as always, my man, Ryan Donnelly.
Has any of you guys noticed that Derek Lalonde looks like Gru from Despicable Me? Because he coaches like Gru. Tonight, we are going to lose to the Arizona Coyotes.
Well, that's a great impression.
That's
right there,
that's my Gru impression.
Very nice.
There it is. All right next to me, my man, Michael Rosenkranz.
Great to be here for the show on a Wednesday. March Madness is inching closer and closer, gentlemen.
Yes,
I can't wait.
And across the way, joining us once more, it's been a while, Tyler Brazill.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you guys are all doing good. Let's talk some March Madness.
It's going to be a fun one. I woke up this morning, and of course, there's some MLB baseball on right now. The Seoul series in Korea between the Dodgers and Padres. It's currently 5 a.m. Started at 4 a.m. over there on their side of the country in the USA, over in the great state of California. 5 a.m. games. Fans are up watching. More power to them. I was up watching because it's the first game of the MLB season, and I look outside my window, and there's snow. There's snow on the ground. It was just warm. People were outside. It felt like spring. Heck, it felt like summer. How warm it got just a couple weeks ago, and now there's snow back on the ground. And Tyler, you're in the meteorology business, and you say that there's going to be even more on Friday.
Indeed, there is.
How much more? I know how much, but I just want you to say it.
They were talking probably 3 to 5 inches.
Oh, my God.
Upwards of potentially maybe 8.
Gosh. Oh.
Some models, maybe. It's a maybe. That's very, that's up there. We want to stay conservative. We just stay with the 3 to 5 inches. But
on Friday. So just in time for the weekend.
Friday, Saturday.
Winter's not going away, folks.
I was planning on going to the CMU baseball game this weekend.
Yeah. Well,
now I'm going to avoid it and watch March Madness.
There
Some
it is.
models are maybe showing it coming a little later. Maybe Saturday, Sunday. So we never know.
That's
all.
awful.
As it gets a little bit closer, we'll see.
All right, so you have the forecast right here from Tyler. A lot of snow coming our way. It's cold. It's going to be cold in the teens. So that's your weather update. A little spontaneous weather update. Let's start off with the Red Wings, huh? Shall we?
We shall.
The Detroit Red Wings have won a hockey game.
Hey, we won 2 out of our last 3.
Yeah. We barely won against the Blue Jackets. It took a last second game tying goal by Lucas Raymond, who, by the way, has been on fire as of late.
Coming into that game, I believe Lucas Raymond was on a 5-goal streak. He just added 2 more to his tally there. Lucas Raymond, we've said it on this show before, he wants it. He's really been the only player that's been stepping up in Dylan Larkin's absence.
Yep.
What a heck of a win. What a statement win for this team yesterday.
I think my takeaway from this quote unquote win, because it still feels like a loss to me.
No, absolutely.
It's the Blue Jackets. You were supposed to come in and, turn around. I don't want to say turn around your season off one game, but this is supposed to be a good stepping stone. A good game against a not so good team. I'm not going to say they're a bad team, but they're a not so great team. Only 23 wins on the year.
They're last place in the East right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're not that great, but yeah. They looked great yesterday. The fact it took a Lucas Raymond goal with 10 seconds left in the third.
Just about. I think it was about
10, 15 seconds. Yeah, less than 15 seconds.
It took
about 12.
A last second, basically buzzer beater goal to send it to overtime, and of course, Showtime, Patrick Kane wins it just mere seconds into the overtime period. Concerning. You have a game tomorrow night, the biggest game of the year against the Islanders. You dropped your last game to the Islanders at home. You're in that neck-and-neck race with the Islanders up there in the wild card. This is must win. I don't even want to say must win. I want to say must get a point. At least get a point. At least take it to overtime. Because during that giant losing streak, we didn't go to overtime once. What was the 7-game skid? Not overtime once. Mm-hmm. Couldn't even salvage a point out of that. Straight zeros when it comes to points. You need a point tomorrow. And I'm not being over dramatic there by saying you need a point tomorrow if you're Derek Lalonde and company. You need a point. If you don't get a point, you might as well chalk the season up. I don't want to say that because, of course, there's more games. You can go on a run, whatever. But when you're in a neck-and-neck race with a team that's beat you, I don't want to say pretty good, but, I mean, they gave it to us this season. You need points. If we can come away with 2 points tomorrow, hey, 2-game win streak, 4 straight points. We still have a decent record. The fact we went on a 7-game losing streak and we're still second place in the wild card, it just shows how big of a cushion we built. And thank goodness for that cushion, or else if we didn't have that cushion, we'd be completely out of it. But must-win game tomorrow.
Was this win at all good? Absolutely not. This was the worst loss, or not the worst win of the year. It was a very gritty win. I like to see gritty wins. However, it was a not good gritty win at all. Mm-mm. The points, Anthony and I had this conversation last night. I posted on my story of me getting really excited. I wasn't excited about this win at all. I was excited about us getting 2 points and now being 1 point ahead of the Capitals and now being back in the second wild card spot.
Yeah.
Taking a look at the wild card spot, we got New York tomorrow. They're 73. We're 3 points ahead of them. Like Anthony said, a point, maybe 2 points is needed.
Or else you need to salvage a point.
Or else our season's washed. I think if we lose to New York, I think the season's over. Because after New York, this season doesn't get any easier. You got Nashville, who are first. Oh, why isn't my thing? There we go. We got Washington. We got Nashville, who are first in the Western wild card spot. You got the Capitals, who are 1 point
on our
under
tails.
us.
They're on
our tails. You got Carolina, and then after that, tough. Carolina, Florida.
That's
Tampa,
that tough stretch we were talking about a couple shows ago.
Buffalo, who's a bottom feeder. Washington on our tails. Pittsburgh, who's a bottom feeder, but we got crushed to them the other day. Toronto up there, and then you got to split with the Canadiens, who are not the greatest right now. It's a mishmash of either really bad or really good teams that we have to play.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
And we're going to probably get Larkin back this week. We're going to probably get his evaluation by Friday.
Could he be back tomorrow? No.
What I heard from the broadcast yesterday when I was watching is there could be a possibility where Larkin does come back tomorrow. However, Lalonde thinks it's still too aggressive. So they're still going to try and test the waters with him. But I also heard that he's getting a full practice in today.
That's good.
He'll get a full practice in today. He was kind of skating. Good. He was kind of skating lines yesterday, sort of in transition, but he's going to get a full practice today, so that's good news out of it.
I could see him come back Saturday.
Yeah, I think that's realistic.
If he doesn't come back against Nashville, then I'm a little concerned. But for that, thank you for the news update. I unfortunately watched this entire game from front to back. There's a lot of key takeaways that I got, which is one, we didn't have a lot of puck possession. We had a lot of puck possession in the third period. We just couldn't score until 12 seconds left. There was a point in the game, and I was so upset, where we had the puck in Columbus' zone for 2 minutes. We took maybe 7 shots, and there was the most combobulated, feeble, messed up hockey I have ever seen in my life. It was horrible hockey. It took us until 12 seconds to get our third goal. Although the second period was huge when we got those 2 straight goals. We need to win out. Or not win out, but I could see us go 500 in this stretch because we have 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 12. We have 14 games. I could see us go 7-7. Realistically, I could see us go 7-7 or 7-6-1. I could see a world where we make it, but it's going to be, you got to fight. You need to fight, and having Larkin back this week most likely will be huge.
I think one of the worst parts of this whole thing, not only just the losing streak, the fact the Capitals have gone on a little run themselves, and they're right when the Red Wings were winning, when they were not in the midst of one of the roughest stretches of the season, if not the roughest stretch of the season, the Capitals were right down where the Devils were, or the Devils are right now. And then the Capitals just shot up, and now all of a sudden you got the Capitals on your tail too. This wild card race, if you're just a neutral NHL fan, this is amazing to watch. Just because it's so close, it's neck and neck. Every game matters. If you're a Red Wings fan, every game gives you a slight heart attack because, I mean, you're barely beating Columbus. They're last place. You're barely beating Columbus. Like, that's a team that you need to single-handedly beat to get this train back on the tracks. Instead, you need some luck. Look, the refs were terrible all game. We're not going to get into the refs, but the refs were bad for both sides of the puck the entire game.
Really bad.
Really bad.
There was an obvious miss hook. I don't remember who it was on, but it was towards the end of the game that saved us.
Yeah.
It was a season-saving call. Mm-hmm. There was a missed hook by Columbus. Or by us. It was bad.
And Tampa Bay going on a 4-game winning streak, too, also is kind of hurting us a little bit. Tampa Bay's 4 points ahead of us in the wild card. It's just, I'm looking at this. The Flyers are in third place with 78 points. However, the Tampa Bay Lightning have 80 points in there. Do the Flyers have like a? And also, the Flyers have a worse record than the Lightning. Or are they in They're in Metropolitan. I'm stupid.
Oh, you're Anthony.
I'm stupid. I was looking at it. I was looking at the standings wrong. Don't mind me. I was looking at their Tampa Bay's in the Atlantic, correct?
Correct.
Now that makes sense because of Toronto. It's the way ESPN had the standings. I'm still getting used to NHL standings compared to like NBA, NFL, MLB. But go ahead.
And here's another quick takeaway from the Red Wings. Called up Edvinsson. Our defense in the first period was god-awful. Mm-hmm. You let Columbus score on 2 breakaways. 2. That cannot happen in this tight of a wild card race when you're hunting for the playoffs. It just cannot happen. This road trip coming up is going to be one of the biggest because after the Islanders, you have 5 straight on the road. Predators, Capitals, Hurricanes, Panthers, Lightning. You don't come back home until April 5th, opening day at Comerica's Park against the A's.
Here we are at Comerica's Park.
Exactly.
Are they going to
Ryan.
get back at Little Caesars' arena?
Exactly. They will be back at the Little Caesars' arena against the Rangers. But my point is, you have to get on a roll.
Especially going on the road.
Exactly. Some way, somehow, we need to get on a roll. And it has to start tomorrow against the Islanders.
I think this game was kind of a wake-up call because we know that...
I think the losing streak should have been the wake-up call, personally. I think that should have been the wake-up call.
Yeah.
Especially getting... Sorry, score doesn't really indicate a blowout. You got blown out twice by Arizona.
I know, but...
That should have been the wake-up call, but I understand what you're saying.
Historically, we're just really bad in March. So I'm not really surprised why we went on this losing skid.
Yeah.
However, I do believe that this Blue Jackets win, well, I'm going to say loss. This Blue Jackets loss with 2 points attached is kind of a wake-up call because you got Islanders coming in your barn tomorrow, and I think we beat them before, barely. in overtime.
Hey,
But
just
still,
gotta beat 'em.
a win is a win. We got to beat this team.
Yeah.
It's a need. We need to beat this team, and we need to beat Washington.
So the Red Wings, they play the Islanders tomorrow, and what I can just say flat out is the game of the year. It's the game of the season. You beat the Islanders, you have a small little whoopee cushion. You don't have a nice fluffy cushion you put on like a wooden chair anymore. You have a little whoopee cushion. But a whoopee cushion is a cushion compared to no cushion. So the Red Wings play tomorrow night. It's the game to watch. We'll discuss it on Monday. We'll discuss everything Red Wings that happens on the weekend. We'll discuss that on Monday next time we are with you guys. Moving on. The Detroit Pistons play a basketball game tonight against the Pacers.
They do.
I do want to clarify something. Because on the show on Monday, I did say Monty Williams was not bad. Let me clarify what I was saying there. Monty Williams on the Pistons Monty is bad, no good, terrible coach. Overall, in his overall career of coaching, he's had a successful career with lots of accolades, which you can't necessarily consider all in all bad, which is why I said he wasn't all in all bad. That was more of a career standpoint, considering accolades and his teams he's had.
It's like Michael Jordan on the Wizards.
This is my comparison. Think Josh Smith. Would you consider Josh Smith an overall bad NBA player for his career?
No.
No. He was great on the Hawks. He comes to Detroit, and he's stinky. Not good. Smelly, if you will. And he wasn't good for the Pistons. Monty's the same way. I don't think Monty was as successful as Josh Smith in comparison because Monty still wasn't that great of an X's and O's guy in Phoenix. He was a good culture guy, and he really let Chris Paul do a lot of the on-court adjustments, which I think Cade Cunningham can become a Chris Paul for this team in being the on-the-floor head coach and be like, scrap everything that dude just said, we'll do this. And he's starting to become that leader right now. So I just wanted to clarify that. Monty Williams is still a bad coach for the Pistons right now. He doesn't have a roster. I will give him that benefit of the doubt. He is set up for failure with this roster. But, I mean, you have college kids out coaching him from their lazy boy in their dorm room. So there that is. Anyways, we have a little bit of a topic today. In the midst of this historically bad season, what is the Pistons' future? Because I see in the next couple years playoffs with the right moves in the offseason. You have to target wings. A player I want on this team, I don't care how aggressive you have to be either in the trade market or whenever he becomes a free agent, Jalen Johnson. That kid has been on a tear recently. He's from Cade's draft class. He plays for the Hawks, and he is everything you want from a power forward, especially next to Duren. He can shoot, crazy athletic. He's going to be a multiple-time All-Star. And everybody's starting to wake up to Jalen Johnson and how just elite he is as a player. I remember we were watching, Tyler Ryan, we were watching the Lakers-Hawks game, and we were just like, Jalen Johnson just won't stop going off. He was going crazy. Mm-hmm. And I want him on this team so bad next to Fontecchio, next to Asar. But I think this team just needs a couple wing additions, depth additions, and good veterans like Taj Gibson. Mm-hmm. That can, Taj gave us good minutes against Celtics. Taj Gibson hit a 3. He scored. He played. Now, Stewart is out tomorrow or tonight against the Pacers. Asar is out with that mystery illness that we still have no clarification on. They're saying it's asthma, but everybody's like, there's way more to it right now. It's just considered illness. Mm-hmm. They haven't really said anything official, like definitive, at least from what I've seen on the illness. But I've seen some places, some people saying asthma. And I'm pretty sure Grimes is out tomorrow, and I'm pretty sure Fontecchio is out tomorrow, or questionable. But Cade is off the injury report, which is huge, because that means he's feeling good, and he's not hurting anymore, at least from what I can presume. So, hopefully we have healthy and good Cade back tonight against the Pacers. Halliburton's in a little bit of a stretch. But I kind of tossed up what I think kind of a vague future for the Pistons. I want to throw it to y'all, because this team, there's a lot of perspectives you can go down. This is a 4-lane highway with the Pistons. You could go multiple different ways, and I can't say you're wrong.
I think you said it. I think you said it pretty well. You need more depth. You need more veteran players. There needs to be more pieces to the team, right? I don't know how I feel about Monty as a coach, but
yeah, Monty Williams, baby.
The Pistons is just, it's hard. It's hard to get them right. I feel like the future could be good if we pick up the right pieces, like you said. It's just, will we get the right pieces?
Yeah, and it's all depending on Tommy T-shirt and Troy Weaver, because as much as we want to place the blame on Troy Weaver for the roster mishap, which he deserves a lot of the blame, a lot of the executive decisions go through Tom Gores. Tom Gores tries to be some sort of GM where he approves everything. It seems Monty Williams is a great example, and Tom Gores seems to have some input along with Arn Tellem, and it's not just Troy Weaver's decisions. A lot of these decisions are either Troy is told make this move or go after this player, you're fired, or Tom Gores or Arn Tellem are putting their 2 cents in, and Troy Weaver is taking that seriously. Mm-hmm. There is outside factors other than just Troy Weaver, and like you were saying, who is to say those moves are going to happen? Mm-hmm. We can see those moves need to happen. The experts can say this needs to happen and the Pistons will be good, but will the front office attack it?
Right.
Will we spend our money? Look. Free agency is never going to be as elite as it used to be. Mm-hmm. You're not going to see the superstars really heading to free agency anymore. They're signing extensions instead of going to free agency because they can get more money from that. Mm-hmm. You're seeing all these supermax extensions, rookie contract extensions. Nobody is hitting the open market like they used to. So you need to you might have to overpay someone. You have the money. What's the difference? Genuinely, what's the difference in overpaying somebody and letting the money sit there and rot? Mm-hmm. There's no difference. Now, do I agree with overpaying for an injury-prone player? No. Can I see and side with and support potentially overpaying somebody that can give you contributing minutes like what the Rockets are doing? Look at the Rockets. The Rockets paid $40 million for Fred VanVleet. People called it an overpay. They paid $20 million for Dillon Brooks. People called it an overpay. They're contributing. They're putting in good minutes. Dillon Brooks has been a little bit injured this year, but he hasn't really been injured in most of his career. They paid market value for players that they knew would help the team, and look where they are, 2 games behind the Warriors for a play-in spot. Jalen Green has been phenomenal as of late. Mm-hmm. Amin Thompson has been phenomenal as of late. Everything's starting to click. That money needs to be spent.
I think the future of this Pistons team it's confused. I think out of any NBA team, the future is confusing because, like Anthony said, it's a 4-way highway with this Pistons team. A player that I've always wanted, and I still want him, and I mentioned him in our old show, Count That Baby in a Foul.
Oh, man.
That's a show we have not done since November.
If you guys leave a comment saying you want a special edition of Count That Baby in a Foul, or this video can get to 10 likes on YouTube, 10 likes on YouTube, or we get multiple people asking for it, we'll have a special edition of Count That Baby in a Foul.
Wow.
Sometime soon. Maybe Friday, maybe next Friday, we'll have a special edition.
10 likes.
There's a like goal.
That's not too much to ask for.
That's not too many
definitely
likes.
Not.
All you got to do is press the button, and we'll bring back a Count That Baby in a Foul show in studio with the camera set up for the YouTube video. We'll bring it back for an episode, and I was thinking about bringing it back for a season finale episode.
Oh, I like that.
At the end of the season, kind of recapping everything. But if y'all want a special episode, some more content, all you gotta do is hit a like button.
And also subscribe. It's free.
Yes,
it's a Gmail account, and you can set it up. Subscribe.
It's just
let's get
buttons.
to 50 subscribers by the end of the month.
What are we at right now?
I think like 47. I don't know.
I'm right here.
But
I'm looking. We are at 47.
Oh.
Yes.
That's really good.
I know
we
the
need
show.
We need 3 more.
Anyways, a player that I've always wanted. We got sidetracked from our past.
A little plug.
But Devin Booker.
Yes.
Devin Booker.
Yes.
Here's the thing. He played under Monty Williams' system, the .5 offense, which apparently our team can't do.
Well, I mean,
to be fair,
it's a very hard offense to learn, and these guys are very young, and this season's been just a disaster. It's very hard to learn this offense, especially in the midst of such a dumpster fire of a season.
And one thing that I have noticed is that Troy Weaver doesn't really trade for the big names. He just trades for just average role players. I think the only trade that's worked in the past couple of years
Say the name, I'm hoping.
Simone Fontecchio.
Yes! That's my guy, Simone.
Simone Fontecchio came from Utah, averaged 8 a game, and now comes into Detroit and averages 15.
Yeah.
Dude, I want to keep him. He's
Give him the money.
I extend him. We have the money.
If he can average 15 points for us on a consistent basis, he is worth $20 million a
I
year.
agree. Simone Fontecchio coming to Detroit.
Especially with the shooting.
I think dude's a baller.
He's a bucket.
He can shoot. He can drive. He's everything you want, and I want him as our best role player.
He's creative too. He knows how to think off the dribble.
I do. However, it's front office that I'm very worried about. We all know Tommy T-shirts doesn't care about this basketball team. All he cares about is giving bikes out to the local.
It's an investment for him.
Yeah,
I would not be surprised if, given the new CBA, you see a lot of minority owners in the NBA sell their stakes, including Tom Gores. Because if you're looking at it from an investment standpoint, over half the league is owned by investors that are just trying to make a profit off the team. And I would not be surprised, and I've seen this report in multiple places, that owners like Tom Gores sells in the upcoming years approaching the new CBA so they don't start losing money.
I think Tom Gores as a basketball aficionado is terrible, but I'll give him his flowers when it comes to platinum equity and when it comes to investments. Dude's a really good businessman.
He does do good stuff for the community.
He does really good stuff for the community. But when we're focusing this on a basketball standpoint, I don't think he gives 2 nickels. I don't think he gives 2 cents. That's the word I'm looking for. Anthony's giving a confused look.
Why is Taj Gibson questionable? He played 1 game and he has right hamstring soreness.
He's 36.
Oh, no. Taj Gibson went, my hammy, bro.
He made 1 3 and he's like, yep, I'm chalking
done.
up for the week.
I'm done.
He's averaging a point and 2 rebounds this season.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Anyways, I think we got to make a push for a big-name all-star, and that's why I really want Devin Booker. Devin Booker, still in his 20s. Let me take a look at his
Devin Booker, while you look up those stats, Devin Booker is going to be, if the Suns season continues to play out the way it's playing out, he's going to be an easy get in the trade market. Because the Suns, if it doesn't work out this year, I could see them blowing it up and getting rid of either Booker, Durant, Beal, 2 of them, 3 of them, and starting over from scratch and just fixing the mess that they have right now. And I feel like Booker could be a really easy get.
I really hate the approach of super teams. Like, I hate just building your roster around 4 or 5 superstars because it won't mesh well with their play styles, and their all-star careers will fall off until they get to a new team where they can lead the team by themselves. I like what Orlando is doing. I like what Houston's doing. I like what Indiana's doing, where it's build from your farm.
Yes.
And that's something that Detroit is trying to do. However, we can't mishmash well. But I feel like with Devin Booker, who's 27, he's played 8 years in the NBA. He got drafted in 2015. He will blossom under Monty Williams' system because he knows how it works. Him and Cade Cunningham, I feel like, will be great. And hot take, very, very hot take. In that trade deal with Devin Booker, get rid of Jaden Ivey.
That's hot.
I do.
That's hot.
Here's the thing. Jaden Ivey, heck of a player. However, he's very inconsistent. Me and my dad were talking
really
about
is.
this.
He is.
One night he'll give you 35, and then the other night he'll give you 6.
Yep.
And he's been really bad at shooting the ball as of late.
He really has, especially in that Boston game. Yeah, when he turns on the high step, you can't stop him. But when he shoots a three or he shoots a mid-range or he shoots a floater, it most likely will not go in. And I think pairing him with Cade is really nice. However, I feel like if we get Devin Booker, who's younger and is in that same age group as Cade Cunningham, I think it'll work better.
I also think you have to partially blame the coaching and Monty, because Monty does not know how to play these two together the right way. He's kind of flirted with figuring it out, and then he goes back to the staggering has worked to an extent, but I just feel like under Monty these two aren't going to work. And Jaden Ivey is the only of value player that can get that deal done, in my opinion.
I do.
The Suns will only agree to it if they could get Jaden Ivey back, because they get a guard back. I would say include Asar, but I feel like Asar doesn't get it done, and I'm not giving up both Ivey and Asar. I'm giving up Ivey, picks, and maybe a veteran like
Evan Fournier, Troy Brown.
But Fournier is an expiring contract.
Oh.
But I don't know if Troy Brown's an expiring contract, but I can see that. You might have to give up Asar, though, in the deal, too. And at that point, it begs the question, do you give up Asar and Ivey for Booker? I say yes.
I do.
Because you could get a Tobias Harris in free agency. You already have a Simone Fontecchio, which you should extend. You can get a Jalen Johnson through either trade or free agency if he's going to be a free agent this coming offseason. He might be if he doesn't get a rookie extension. But I love that idea. I love Booker. And look, you're going to have to give up Ivey. And at some point, it's like you can give Ivey all the time to try and figure out the jump shot. He's shown great flashes. But if you want to win soon, you don't have time to wait 3 or 4 years for Ivey to break out or for Ivey to find it. You want Booker in his prime. And if you get Booker in his prime, you surround this team with good, solid pieces. They could be the Orlando Magic of next year, where it's a young team that is fun to watch and are winning ball games and are surprising everybody. That could be the Pistons next year with Devin Booker.
I don't really think Monty is that bad. Statistically, he's not that bad of a coach. He's just bad here, like you mentioned.
He needs an on-the-floor coach.
He needs... and that's Cade Cunningham.
That's going to be Cade Cunningham.
And I think he'll flourish if he has a better roster. I think he'll be better. Like, obviously, Rome wasn't built in a day. And I just think with the right roster, with the right pieces, obviously Fournier might leave and Troy Brown might leave. All these veterans might leave because of expiring contracts, or they might retire. I just think you need to go all in on a player, and I think it's Devin Booker or Jalen Johnson. Is he a free agent this year?
I could look it up real quick.
I think Devin Booker and then have Jalen Johnson to the 4, and then this team will be great. However, I don't know what Troy and Tom wants us to do.
Michael, what are you thinking about the future of this Detroit Pistons team?
I mean, you guys pretty much took the words right out of my mouth. We need more veteran players around this young team. Devin Booker's a great player to have on this team, potentially. Jalen Johnson, hearing about him, he'd be a big piece. Back to Tyler's point, it's all about front office. What will front office do? Because quite frankly, we can't trust the front office with this Pistons team. Troy Weaver apparently is going to be the guy that's going to do it going forward, and Tom Gores thinks selling the team is ridiculous. So there you have that with those two.
I don't want to interrupt you, but I do have quickly, so we don't forget about it, Jalen Johnson's contract.
All right.
He has this year and next year left on it. He's a restricted free agent in 2025, so we'd have to trade for him. But if the Hawks are selling, or the Hawks are trying to just rebuild and tear down because, look, they're not good and they have all these players, I could see them getting rid of Jalen Johnson, and I could see us going for Jalen Johnson. Potentially with our first-round pick, I would trade our first-round pick this year for Jalen Johnson. This class is not good in comparison to other rounds, and especially if we get, I would not be opposed to trading a top-3 pick for Jalen Johnson with the way he's been playing recently. But continue. I just wanted to get that out there.
I think it goes without saying that although this season has been atrocious for the Pistons, I think on some nights when I watch them, I can say that this is the toughest 12-56 team that I've seen. These guys want to win. They mean well, but these players can't do it alone. Mm-hmm. And that goes back to coaching.
Especially at a young age.
Exactly. This team is incredibly young, and they need that coach to just be able to guide them along and set them up to where they can win. Monty Williams is not set up to win with this team. And here's the thing about Caden Ivey. That's kind of back to the dilemma about, can these two play together? And would you have to give up Ivey for one of these big names? At this point, I don't think I would be shocked if that happens. If you see Ivey go, or some of these veterans go, for a guy like Devin Booker and Jalen Johnson, I can see it. Simone Fontecchio, I can't stop talking highly about him because that was probably one of our best acquisitions of the season.
We traded a second-round pick in Kevin Knox, who is currently stinking it up in the G League right now.
He is. Simone Fontecchio, huge pickup for Detroit. I think next season, and just looking at the future ahead a couple years, I think this team will eventually be in it. I don't know if I see playoffs next year, though.
I'm 100% wrong. Kevin Knox is tearing it up. He's averaging 24 and 9.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That's on me. That's my bad.
For what team? Is
the
it
Rip City remix.
So Houston.
No.
No,
That's Memphis.
Portland.
Portland.
Rip
Oh.
City.
I need to learn my G League.
It's
teams.
okay. No, it's okay.
Comment down below if we should do a G League trivia game.
Yeah, 2 days ago he dropped 27 and 14. That's on me.
Oh,
That's on
wow.
me. That's on me. He's tearing it up. But still, he couldn't do it in the NBA. So
And here's another thing, too, about this Pistons team. You guys probably already said it. I just can't think. We're going to use our trademark again. It's early.
it's 8:41.
It's 8:41 right
41
now.
for Sadiq Bey. I love you, Sadiq.
There you go.
I miss you.
Um,
Get better soon.
You need shooters, especially on the perimeter. I think Cade's still our best three-point shooter. But the NBA now, all it is you have to take and make more threes than your opponent.
Sadly, yes.
You can go down low in the paint, and you can have paint battles down low, but in the NBA, it's all about taking and making more threes than your opponent. Pistons are not a three-point shooting team.
Well, we're not really an anything team. We're just kind of there.
Exactly. We're just kind of there.
If we get lucky and we make a couple shots or we make a couple plays and get lucky, then that's the type of team we are. We're not a three-point shooting team. We're not an interior team. We're not a defensive team. We're not an offensive team. We're not a well-coached team. We're not, well, I'd say we're disciplined.
Yeah.
We're a disciplined team, almost.
Yeah.
We're a tough team. Like you said, I think tough is the best word to say. With how this season has gone, a lot of teams like Washington throw in the towel. Don't really care. Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma are just doing their thing, getting their stats. This team's playing together, and they're trying to win. And look, games are entertaining. As much as we may be losing, how many were genuine blowouts? Not many. Like, yes, we just got blown up by Boston, but they're one of the best teams in NBA history right now. How many games are genuine blowouts? You're still attracting fans. Now, granted, great giveaway work this year. That's attracting the fans out. But it's to a point in which people look at this team and they're like, oh, 12 and 56. Terrible. I'm like, yeah, we can't close out games to save our lives, even though we have been doing a lot better at that. We have won we're 3 and 4 of our last 7 games, which not too shabby, considering 28 straight losses. But like you said, tough is a great word for this team. It's an extremely great word.
My dream lineup. This is my dream lineup. Cade at the 1, Booker at the 2, Simone at the 3, Jalen Johnson at the 4, Jalen Duren at the 5, and if we don't give up our 5th, Alex Sarr coming off the bench.
Ooh, a 7-footer off the bench would be nice. I mean, we have the Wiseman, though's been playing good ball.
I'd say keep Wiseman. I think he's proved himself this past.
But what do you
couple
give
of
him
weeks.
contract wise? 2 years, $10 million.
Yeah, 2 years, 15. 2 years, 12.
I'd say 15's too much for 2 years.
I wouldn't give him like a Marvin Bagley deal where it's 3 years, $30 million. That was a horrendous pickup, but 2 years, $10 million would be solid.
And again, this goes back to this whole flexibility discussion that the Pistons have been preaching on and off. Oh, we have flexibility. We're going to have the money. We're going to have the cap space. This offseason, I really think it's going to determine, Do you have the guts to go get those big name players in the offseason?
Like the Rockets did.
Exactly. Rockets did it right. The Rockets did it right. I think the Pistons can be there in a couple years, but this team needs a massive overhaul.
Indeed, they do.
And also, an update on the Seoul game. It's currently 2-2 Dodgers. Mookie Betts just hit a sac fly to left, which scored in Max Muncy.
Yes. Wait. Yeah, I have Max Muncy.
Wait, I have Will Smith. Fantasy. He's hurt. No.
Will Smith is hurt?
I think so. I have Will Smith in fantasy.
Can I just say something about the Pistons real quick?
Go ahead. Yeah.
The Pistons need a couple guys who are going to step up in different games.
Yeah.
Instead of getting consistent points, sure, that's nice. We need a few guys that are going to go above average on most games, right? Like some guys that are going to step up either defensively or offensively. Either side works.
I could see defense from Asar.
Right. Like something like that.
I saw it here. I want to pull up this tweet. Keep talking. I'm going to pull up the tweet on Asar.
There are some players on the Pistons right now that do that. Don't get me wrong. Cade does do that. It's a consistent, like he gets 20, right? Like that's probably his average.
When he's healthy and he's not hurting, he steps up. And I feel like when he made that mistake at the end of the game, shooting with 8 seconds left and giving the Heat time and ultimately losing the game for us, I think that's on Cade. I think he's going to learn from this. I think he wasn't thinking because he was in so much pain and he wanted the game, maybe he didn't want the game to end, but maybe the pain was taking over his judgment. He's playing through a knee injury. His knee is injured. On a normal team where you don't need a Cade every single game, where he has other pieces to help him, he would have been out the past 2 weeks.
Right.
He's playing through an injury. Obviously, he's off the injury report now. The pain or swelling or whatever might have gone down, but that's why he's off the injury report. 5-2 Dodgers.
What?
Whoa.
5-2 Dodgers. I just saw that on Twitter.
Please tell me Shohei Ohtani did something.
Will Smith currently, I have him in fantasy. He's my fantasy catcher. 0 points, 0 for 3, a strikeout, and a walk, basically.
Oh, wow.
And a flyout.
There you go, 36 seconds ago. Just reading a tweet from Noah Camrus. Apologize if I butchered the name. Max Muncy walk, Teoscar Hernandez single, James Outman walk, Kike Hernandez sac fly, Gavin Lux reached on an error, Mookie Betts RBI single, Shohei Ohtani RBI single.
Well, there you
LA
go.
suddenly leads 5-2.
There you go. There's
There it
Shohei.
is.
There's
That'll do
Shohei. That's my
That'll do
boy.
it. And we are playing each other, aren't we?
Yes.
I'm playing
We are
Doug
playing
first
each
the
other.
round.
Detroit Torque Chops,
We
if
are-
I'm not mistaken.
That is my fantasy baseball team.
What a
is
name.
the Detroit Torque Chops, and Spencer Torkelson is on my team.
What a name.
I am playing Doug first day. I'm not excited because he has the best team in fantasy.
Happy birthday, Doug.
Oh, yeah. Happy
Happy
birthday,
birthday, Doug
It's
Mobley.
your birthday.
is
My
Happy
man is
birthday.
19 today.
He is a long
Happy
time.
birthday, Doug Mobley. You're cool. I wish it was my birthday so I could party with you. Hey, have y'all ever been to Applebee's?
I have been to Applebee's.
Of course.
I'm trying to
Not
find
in a long time.
I'm trying to find a tweet here that was going over opponent's field goal percentage with Asar Thompson, and I'll hit this quickly, and then we got to move on. Asar Thompson's field goal percentage players' field goal percentage when guarded by Asar Thompson, and players shoot under 30% when guarded. And I'm talking Luka, SGA, Taylor. When Asar Thompson's guarding the big names, they don't do good. He is a defensive juggernaut. He puts together an offensive game, polishes that up, works on the jumper. He's going to be a very good player for a long time, and our main defender. And I think you could have a team in which you have Cade, Booker, Asar, Fontecchio, Duran, and you're winning ball games. Get more experience. You get that star player. Asar develops a 30% three-point shot, not 14, wherever he's at right now. It's Asar Thompson's got a lot of potential. He's got a lot of, and he's already showing that he can guard and stop the best of the best in the NBA. All right, we're going to move on. Tyler, you're on the show today, and you are in our Card Guys bracket group.
I am.
So, would you like to go over your bracket selections really quickly?
Yes. Yes, I would.
So you have your bracket pulled up, I assume.
Yes, I do.
All right.
I made some
What do you
changes.
I
got?
can't
I
confirm
made
his
some changes
bracket's
sitting
pulled up.
here.
Yes.
So,
So what do you got, Tyler?
all right. So, starting in the East, we're going to start with the UConn-Stetson game. We got UConn. I don't think that should even be a question. UConn should obliterate them. Anyway, we're going to move on to FAU versus Northwestern. Give me Northwestern, for sure. San Diego, UAB. Give me San Diego State. Auburn, Yale. Give me Auburn. BYU versus
Duquesne. Not Duquesne. Duquesne.
Duquesne. Give me BYU. Illinois versus Morehead State. Give me Illinois. Washington State versus Drake. Give me Drake.
Yes, sir.
Iowa State versus South Dakota State. Give me Iowa State.
Do you just want to go through until your Final Four for each region? Or do you want to go through round of 64, round of 32?
What do you think's better?
We could try just going through to the Final Four each region, maybe.
All right, we'll stay with the East then. So next I have UConn Northwestern. We got UConn winning that one. We have San Diego State Auburn. I'm going to take Auburn. We got BYU Illinois. I will take BYU over Illinois.
Okay.
We got Drake Iowa State. And then, moving on, we have UConn Auburn. This is where things might get crazy. This is where March does March things.
Yeah.
This is, if it wasn't for UConn in the East, Auburn would be the number 1 seed, in my opinion. There's no doubt about it. So, imagine this game as a number 1 seed versus number 1 seed. I think Auburn will sneak away with this win. I'm giving it to Auburn.
Nice. I like that.
It's going to be a very gritty game, though. That game will be, that's going to be insane. And then we have Auburn, Iowa State. Give me Auburn to move on.
All right.
To the Final Four.
All right, so that's your East. Let's go now to the West.
Okay.
Which is now confirmed, and we'll kind of lightly cover these after Tyler's done going through his bracket. Wagner did win yesterday, and it turned into a close game. So it's North Carolina Wagner as the first game.
All right. North Carolina Wagner. Give me North Carolina. Mississippi State versus Michigan State. Give me Mississippi State.
Yes. Me and Tyler are big believers in Mississippi State.
Oh, they for sure.
Yes.
For sure. St. Mary's versus Grand Canyon. A lot of people are picking this upset, and I genuinely cannot see why.
Isaac is one of them.
He is. He also picked like everything as an upset almost.
Yeah.
St. Mary's has had a way harder schedule than Grand Canyon. They're not even, I don't think they're even near the same caliber. St. Mary's walks away with that.
We've watched a lot of St. Mary's basketball, just inadvertently, just because they're good games and they're a good team.
They're only giving up, St. Mary's is only giving up 58 points per game.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And they're scoring 74. So this is a very offensive and defensive team.
So you got the Gales.
Right.
Got the Gales.
Give me the Gales. Then we're going to do, give me 1 second, sorry. Alabama, Charleston, give me Alabama.
Roll Tide.
Clemson, New Mexico, give me New Mexico. Baylor over Colgate. Dayton versus Nevada, give me Nevada. And then Arizona versus Long Beach State, give me Arizona. And then moving on to the round of 32, we have North Carolina versus Mississippi State, give me North Carolina. St. Mary's versus Alabama, give me Bama.
Really?
New Mexico versus Baylor, give me New Mexico.
Wow.
Arizona versus Nevada, give me Nevada.
Let's go. Wow. Yeah, I like that pick.
All right.
I love it. Let's go.
Upsets are flying down in the West region.
North Carolina versus Alabama, give me North Carolina.
Okay.
New Mexico versus Nevada, give me Nevada. Then we have a North Carolina versus Nevada Sweet 16, give me North Carolina.
I like that. That's solid. All right, next, your South region.
All right, round of 64. Houston Longwood, give me Houston. Nebraska versus Texas A&M, give me Texas A&M.
And you were debating this game too.
I was.
You like Texas A&M.
I do. I was debating about the Houston Texas A&M game that I have in round of 32. That I feel like is going to be really close. But all right, Wisconsin versus James Madison, give me Wisconsin. Sorry.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
He said sorry just because he knows that everybody's taking James Madison.
Wisconsin is just, I don't know. To me, they're an insanely good team. So I've watched a lot of Wisconsin basketball games this year. and they have proven themselves multiple times.
Sorry for that reaction. I was like, out of every bracket challenge I've watched, everybody's picked James Madison. I respect that pick.
And I could totally see the James Madison upset, but I think Wisconsin takes that. Let's go Duke, Vermont. Give me Duke. Texas Tech versus NC State. Give me NC State. A lot of people saying Texas Tech's going to make a deep run, and they are a very deep team. They are a veteran team. They've been here. They've done it. But NC State has proven themselves this year, apparently.
Yeah.
So let me see NC State advance. We have Kentucky, Oakland. Give me Kentucky. We have Florida against either Boise or Colorado. So give me Florida. Marquette versus Western Kentucky. A lot of people are picking Western Kentucky, but give me Marquette. And then, round of 32, we have Houston and Texas A&M. Give me Houston in that game. I was picking Texas A&M, but I can't go against Houston. I really can't. They're just a really good team. Wisconsin, Duke. Give me Duke. NC State, Kentucky. I did have NC State advancing here, but
Respect Big Blue.
you got to respect Kentucky. They're a very good team. Very good team.
Potential future Piston Rob Dillingham.
I don't know.
I don't
Maybe.
think we need Rob Dillingham because we have Marcus Sasser, but he's still a very good player.
All right, give me Kentucky on that game. Florida, Marquette. Give me Florida.
Yes.
Houston, Duke. Give me Houston.
Yes.
Kentucky, Florida. I've debated about this game. I like Florida, but I cannot be biased.
Their
Give me
big
Kentucky.
man, quite literally, his leg went the other way.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they do have other big men that are going to step up and do have average more points.
And they're built on their guards.
Right.
So
So this team should still go deep. But I still see Kentucky making it over Florida.
So Houston and Big Blue.
Give me Houston and Kentucky. Give me Houston.
Nice. W picks. W picks. All right. Your Midwest region, the final region of your bracket.
Okay. We have Purdue versus either Montana State or Grambling. If Grambling wins, you might see this bracket change. I might pick Grambling or Purdue.
I agree.
I don't see.
Wow.
A lot
I
of
agree.
people,
Grambling's a very good team.
Right. Nobody sees that. Nobody
Let me take a look at
no way
Grambling.
they lose 2 years in a row to a 16 seed, right?
It's Purdue,
If it's
though.
Purdue is
If any team will
only-
do it, it's Purdue.
Purdue is only basing off of Zach Edey right now. I believe there's no single guard that is averaging over double digits. It's only Zach Edey who is getting double-digit points. This team is fraudulent. If you can execute from the three-point line or take out Zach Edey somehow,
You just got to take out Zach Edey, and
Dude.
they're only scoring 40 or 50
any
points.
team can advance past Purdue.
Yeah.
It's been like that for the past. Anytime they make the tournament, they always,
It seems
Terrence-
like everybody except for the Big Ten can plan against them.
Right.
Terrence Lewis from Grambling is shooting 46% from three.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Wow.
Grambling's going to win in a mudslide tonight, and then you're going to see on Friday a potential big boy upset just like
know
last
what?
year.
Grambling isn't even favored tonight.
Wow.
Really?
Against Montana State, they're not favored.
Nope.
I don't agree with that.
Okay,
I
I'm
don't
gonna
get that.
have,
Come
I'll
on,
have to
Vegas.
tune
Come on,
in
Vegas.
tonight.
I think that's insane that is it Terrence Lewis is shooting 46 and then Tramichael Moton, I'm sorry if I mispronounced it, 37%. A majority of these guys are shooting over 30% from three.
We'll
And
talk
that's what you
more about
need
them.
to beat
That's-
Purdue.
yeah.
That is exactly what you need to beat Purdue.
We'll talk
I-
more about them briefly in our next coming segment. But you have Purdue beating, as of right now,
We have
the
Purdue
winner
advancing.
of that play-in game.
I have Purdue
Okay.
advancing as of right now. We have Utah State versus TCU. I love the Horned Frogs, but they keep games close and they don't finish. Give me Utah State. Gonzaga versus McNeese. Give me Gonzaga. When they heat up, they're really good. So as long as they can heat up, we're good. Kansas versus Samford. Give me the Samford upset.
Yes, yes, yes.
I love it.
South Carolina, Oregon. give me-
Especially, I don't want to interrupt you. Kansas lost their star player.
They did.
They did.
They did.
They
And
lost
they're-
their star guard.
I believe they have 2 other injuries. I think they have 3 injuries in total.
Yeah.
So they're losing a lot of people.
And now you know who's going to be carrying this
Hunter Dickinson.
This Jayhawks team? Hunter Dickinson! Team distraction. Sorry.
And I believe Samford is executing the 3 very well.
Yes.
A majority of their guys are shooting over 40% from
Right.
3, which is insane.
So I believe Samford can pull that off. South Carolina versus Oregon, give me Oregon.
Wow. Okay.
Creighton, Akron, give me Creighton. Texas, Colorado State, that might be really close, but give me Texas. Tennessee, St. Peter's, I want to pick St. Peter's.
I picked the Peacocks.
So bad, but give me Tennessee. I can't
Fair.
go against them.
Yep.
I cannot go against
In
them.
all my other brackets, I have Tennessee going far. I just wanted to pick the Peacocks for this one. All right, your round of 32.
We have Purdue, Utah State. So give me Purdue. Gonzaga, Samford, give me Gonzaga. Oregon, Creighton, give me Creighton. Texas, Tennessee. Texas might sneak away with that, but give me Tennessee.
All right, your Sweet 16.
Purdue, Gonzaga. So give me Purdue. Creighton, Tennessee. Give me Tennessee. And then we have Purdue and Tennessee. Give me Tennessee.
Nice.
Yeehaw.
All right, so you have a Final Four and a champion to pick now.
Okay. Final 4, we have Auburn, North Carolina. Give me Auburn. We have Houston versus Tennessee. Give me Houston. Championship game, we have Auburn versus Houston. Drum roll, please. Give me Auburn.
Nice.
Nice.
I like it. All
me
right,
Auburn.
so he went over his bracket. We're going to go over some quick changes. I made some changes. I have Auburn beating San Diego State and going to UConn, but UConn will still win. What else did I change? I changed something else. I have New Mexico beating Clemson, and then Baylor beating New Mexico. I'm going to stick with the Peacocks.
Okay.
But I changed Utah State beating TCU, and then I still have Purdue losing in the round of 32 to Utah State. I think Purdue loses in the round of 32 if they don't lose in the round of 64. I don't believe in Purdue. I don't like Purdue. Purdue is stinky. I don't like Purdue at all.
I agree with you.
And I think that's all I have. Oh, I also, instead of having Florida go to my Final Four, I have Kentucky against, I have to my Elite Eight. I have Florida losing to Kentucky ever since that injury. I'm just starting to lose more and more faith in their ability to stay alive that long. And I have Houston beating Kentucky, and then Creighton I still have Creighton beating Houston in an insane, what is it, Big Ten, not Big Ten, Big East? Mm-hmm. An insane Big East rematch of blowouts, UConn, Creighton, an electric game in Glendale. Those are my changes.
I made a lot of changes. I mean a lot. So the first change I made, going back into watching Duquesne's championship game, their conference championship game, they blew out their opponent. I chose Duquesne to upset BYU, and unfortunately I did have them losing the next round to Illinois. What other changes did I made? I made a lot, so bear with me. I'm going to stick in that region. Originally, I had Illinois making my Final Four. I changed that to UConn to make my Final Four. Moving on to the West region, I had UNC go to my Final Four. Unfortunately, I switched that to Baylor. I think Baylor will upset. I genuinely do believe that Jacoby Walter, who is an ESPN Top 100 player, could destroy UNC. Moving on to the South region really fast. I don't think I made any changes. I did. I had Florida upsetting Marquette. Florida, unfortunately, losing in the Sweet 16 to Kentucky. Mm-hmm. And then I have Houston still moving on to the Final Four. And then moving on to the Midwest region, if Grambling wins today, I will switch that pick to Grambling. And then Utah State's fine. I switched my South Carolina pick to Oregon. I think the Oregon Ducks could upset.
Good.
And then I had everything else is fine. Yeah. I do want to compare a pick that I made. A couple years ago, the Richmond Spiders made the made March Madness, and I was so confident in them. I think I could compare this to Duquesne.
Duquesne.
Duquesne. I could compare Duquesne to Richmond based on their team. I think they have a very similar team, very high 3-point percentage. I'm very confident in my Duquesne pick.
There it is.
And now my Final Four, I changed this. In the left region, I have UConn and Baylor, and then I have Houston and Tennessee, and I have, drumroll please, I changed my champion to the UConn Huskies.
There you go. Boom. UConn partners there.
Quick fact.
Quick fact.
The last time that we had a back-to-back champion was 2006 and 2007.
Who's that, Kansas?
Florida.
Florida?
It was Florida.
It was the
Joakim
Gators.
Noah and Al Horford on that Florida. Was Bradley Beal on that team too? Or is he a little bit
I
after?
think he was
a little bit
he was
after.
a little bit, like maybe a year after.
Michael, do you have any changes to your bracket, or is yours still
That
set in
I
stone?
do.
All right.
Have changes to my bracket. I'm going to try and go over this a
Let's
little
quickly hit
here.
those, and then we'll hit the first four, and then we'll head on out.
I now have Northwestern beating FAU.
Hmm.
I switched from Nebraska to Texas A&M over Nebraska. In hearing the news that Kansas lost their star guard, I now have Samford beating Kansas.
Yes.
I have, let's see. I know there was a couple other ones. Oh yeah, I changed my Sweet 16 around. I have UConn beating Illinois, Houston beating Kentucky. I also changed my Final Four
Okay.
and my champion as well.
Okay.
So they are.
I'm gonna make it a battle of the number 1 seeds. Final Four: UConn over North Carolina, Houston over Creighton, championship UConn Houston.
I like that.
I still have to choose a champion. Just kind of previewing both matches right now. This could very well be an even one.
Could we be the
Houston
UConn
is
brothers?
Considered the number one.
I'm
team.
picking UConn.
There it is. The UConn triplets.
I like it.
There you go.
By
So-
the way,
UConn as a
Tigers
change.
lineup card has been
Yes,
announced.
it has.
We're
Would
gonna,
you like to announce it?
I would briefly make it quick. Starting first, Zach McKinstry, Matt Vierling, Kerry Carpenter, Carson Kelly, Colt Keith, Jackson Henry Malloy, Hiroria Perez, Ryan Creedler, and then on the bump, Casey Mize.
All right. That's going to be a fun one. Is it on TV today?
Yes, at
It
1
is
PM.
on. It is on
Cool.
today.
At one?
We have 3 straight games on Bally this week.
Nice. All right. Perfect. So, last night we had 2 first 4 games. Wagner defeated Howard 71-68. It was a blowout until Howard decided to come back, and last second shot for Wagner sent them dancing again. And then Colorado State just smacked Virginia 67-42.
It's kind of embarrassing. I'm not
Like,
gonna lie.
throughout the first, I saw a stat pop up on the screen. I was working on the show while watching the game. I look up 5 of 31 with like 2 minutes left in the second half from the field for Virginia. Just a bad way to go out this season for Virginia. So those are the 2 first 4 games last night, and tonight we have 2 first 4 games as well. Previously mentioned, Montana State and Grambling squaring off tonight, as well as Colorado and Boise State. The game to watch, Montana State Grambling. We have 2 games. Quickly, let's get 2 picks from each one of you. Tyler, we'll start with you.
All right. For Grambling versus Montana State, give me Grambling.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the other one? It's
Colorado, Boise State.
Colorado Boise State. Give me Colorado.
All right. Ryan.
For Grambling State and Montana State, give me Grambling State. And for Colorado Boise State, give me Boise State.
Grambling versus Montana State. We'll take Grambling, and then Colorado versus Boise State. Let's go Colorado.
I'll take Grambling, and I'll take Boise State. Those are the 2 picks I'm going to make for the first 4.
One thing. If Colorado wins, just know that is a very scary game for Florida. So
Yeah.
if you have Florida going deep into your bracket, Colorado might
You
make
want
that
Boise to
happen.
win. You want Boise to win. All right, well, that is all we have for today's show, folks. Thank you for tuning in to Card Guys Season 2, Episode 17 on 91.5 The Mountain, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. Tune in Monday as we cover the rounds of 64 and 32 in the NCAA Tournament. For my good buddies, Ryan Donnelly, Michael Rosenkranz, and Tyler Brazill, I'm Anthony Schulte saying so long, everybody.
Love you, Mom and Dad. That's all I got.